All right, everybody. We are here, me, Daniel Kivo, with the one and only Travis King pressure washing. So I just want to say thank you, man. I appreciate you being here and taking your precious time with us today.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, and I was gonna just kind of see if you could just talk about your background and how you got injured, really got in the industry because I know you do pressure washing, epoxy, you kind of do it all.
Yeah, I was in the union, so I learned a lot about concrete, and we had bridge washing crews, and they'd always be talking back and forth about the money there, and I'm like, man. And then I started looking into residential, and I actually got lucky. I bought a business for $300, and it came with everything like roof pumps, pressure washer, surface cleaner, all that. So I'm pretty blessed the way I kind of just slid right into it. And then from there, the marketing was the hard thing. I mean, you can do the work all day as long as you have the work. So the marketing was the hard thing for me, learning how to do that, learning how to do SEO and stuff so that I didn't just lose my butt on budget.
Man, marketing, we talk all the time and it's always about marketing. I mean, you can be the best washer, but it or whatever industry you're in, but if you can't market, I mean, it's going to be really, really hard.
Yeah, the thing that sucks, I think, for a lot of new guys too is there's so many leeches, like so many people that want their money and they try to push it like you do this and you'll fill your schedule. A lot of people don't realize that you need everything. Everything's just a piece of the puzzle. And when you're new and you have more time than money, it's good to learn this stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. And what's your best? I mean, everyone does, everyone kind of course, talks about Facebook ads, Google ads. What has been your best way of marketing? Or is it just doing everything? Like you said, there's no right or way. You literally just do it all and see what sticks.
Yeah, I do everything and see what sticks because it always changes. Like whenever I was new, I used Thumbtack and did great whenever I was new. I used Craigslist, did great when I was new, and things change as time goes by. And at one point, Google Ads was where it was at, and now Google Ads is still where it's at, really. But the thing that you have to use like a program like ClickCease or something now because everybody's getting into AI and bots and it's unethical, but these companies will use bots to basically click you off of front page so
Yep.
fast you'll just blow through budget without using something to keep bot clicks down. But social media is really good. And then cold calling. Everybody says, "Oh, cold calling won't get you nowhere." I've had so many people tell me, "I can't believe you do good with cold calling." I've got in with so many property managers and stuff, and then it just keeps spiraling out of control. They tell your
That,
friends about you.
that could be a video in itself, cold calling, because I think if you can master the arts of cold calling, because you're right. I mean, you've done really well, especially with property managers. Better than most people, because I think even like for us, cold calling, email property managers, honestly, like Google for us has been the best, but I think you might have a special art to it that maybe a lot of people don't do. Maybe you have certain techniques that you do or something, but whatever you're
It's
doing,
so I do some stuff that I don't know if a lot of people would do. They'd probably look at it as uh, like I don't know. I think it's good to take care of people who take care of you. Like if I get in somewhere, they're getting Christmas cards with gifts and stuff. Like I think, but as long as you stay on their mind, you know what I mean. Like I always make sure I give them their Christmas cards and stuff come Christmas and put a little something in it.
huh? And that's a great idea. I mean, that's what I always do with real estate agents. If they refer me somebody, I'll give them a 20 or $30 Starbucks gift card. Or if they don't like Starbucks, get
Got
them.
to take care of them.
Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, I was gonna ask you that. What do you think makes this industry unique for you? Like, what made you, once you started it? Because I believe you've been doing it now for a while. Like, what makes you continue to grind and keep hustling, keep versus your average guy or girl gets in this industry from gutter, it could be carpet clean, any home service industry, and then after a year they just like I'm good and they just quit. It seems like most guys or girls who I've met who in a year they're gone. They're doing a whole new industry or whatever.
I think a lot of them people just get it's not something I'm doing special compared to them, except for they just put their faith in people too much. Like I said, I see so many of them, and like we've talked before. Like these guys are going with these agencies, they're
Yep.
charging them an arm and a leg. They're just taking their budget and they're just blowing through all their profits, all their budget, and uh, I think that guys and girls should talk to other contractors more instead of putting their faith in the guys in these groups and stuff that just kind of fake it till they make it and put themselves in front of you until they make themselves an authority figure and they're just here for your money, you know. So that, I mean, if like I said, everything's just a part of the puzzle. Like you can't just put all your money, all your eggs in one basket with one person. You have to kind of test around, see what works, and or else you will go under.
Yeah, and it seems like there's all these gurus out there that we all know who they are. I don't want to name names, but we all know who these big YouTubers are. And the crazy thing is, they don't even wash. Most of the guys who are these YouTubers, they don't wash, or maybe they wash every once a month just so
Content.
they could throw content out on their page. Oh, so people like, oh, they know what they're talking about. So it's like, they're really more just, they have an agency and then they're just throwing some content out like they actually know what they're talking about. It's just crazy to me, like what you said earlier. Like I was just talking to a guy earlier today who spends $1,000 a month on SEO, and I'm like, it's crazy to me, and he's getting no results. So it's like, how I just, like, these agencies, these companies, man, like, they really like keep pulling you along when you don't see results. They're like, oh, you know what, well, it
You need
might
some more
be your
money.
website, let's redo your website. Oh, you know what, it's your ads, let's increase your ad spend. It's always something else, so they continue to take your money.
I think the best way to get leads in right now is just learning how to use some easy to use tools like KindMaster. I don't know if that's the best one nowadays, but like KindMaster,
Canva.
Canva. Yeah, like putting Canva stuff together, then putting a video together with KindMaster. And like we were just talking about with the Reels, they're
Yeah.
trying to compete with TikTok. So you use hashtags on Reels and you can get some serious views. Get it's real good for branding, you know? And
And
then
that
sorry,
that's so true. And I know you're like an hour outside of Pittsburgh, right?
yeah, about an hour.
Like, and that's another thing is, I mean, because I know you're putting up some big numbers, and you don't live in a big city, but you drive out there where the money is. And I feel like so many people, they might live in the middle of America, small town Kansas, Kentucky, wherever, and that's their excuse, like, oh, I'm broke because I don't live in the big city. But I mean, you don't either. And look at, you're pulling big numbers. So I feel like it's all a mindset thing. And yeah, you might have to drive 1 to 2 hours, but you got to do what it takes to get to those homeowners.
I feel like niches, however you say it, with like how we were talking about like how there's like wood and
Yeah,
pavers and like pavers where I'm from. I used to think nobody has pavers, like there's no money in it. And then, well, when somebody does have pavers, they want them to look nice, you know. So
yeah,
they might want them relaid, they might want them resanded, sealed. So you start learning little niche stuff as you go too, as you get better at like obviously soft washing is not that hard, but like as you get better at that, then you learn different stuff. You learn different chemicals, you can save money. Like I always see people getting pushed certain chemicals and stuff, and if you look at the MDMS and everything, it's like pretty pretty basic chemical building
yeah.
blocks on it. So you can learn how to make your own like wood restor like strip oil based stains from wood and neutralize them pretty easy with sodium hydroxide, oxalic acid, and you can Trident actually has a class. You were just talking about going
Yeah, I'm going to it. I'm going, I believe,
for the
yeah,
paver
it's the
side.
29th or whatever. It'll be paver and concrete ceiling. Because
Concrete seal is so easy.
yeah, because we got a huge job next week for paver cleaning, but yeah, I think, and it's just always, I think too many guys they get stuck in just house wash, just
Yeah,
concrete, just only bleach. They if like I've talked to guys, they've been in the industry 5 years and they don't know any other chemical besides bleach. Like that's all they've ever used. It's
there's
like
so many other avenues to stay busy.
exactly. I mean, what you do epoxy. I know you actually do a fun little thing. I think you sell like you create statues and you sell them on the weekends or something.
Yeah, I give them to customers too. I make a like I get the little molds off the Amazon and stuff, and then just mix up some mud, put them in
Man,
there. And my wife likes to paint them. My daughter likes to paint them.
okay.
Neighbors all have them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Okay.
got two big lines outside.
See, I gotta buy some from you, or I might have to just drive out there and because they're heavy.
They're freaking heavy.
What do you sell those for? If like
I
if
I
you
used to not even make like this the lions. I was selling them for like $80. They go for a lot more than that if you had like a actual location, and it's actual concrete, and then because they do take a lot of concrete. And then the like I have like little statue like welcome
hmm,
statues with the bear, all kinds of angels and stuff. And during winter, like everything slows down where I'm located, so I have all kinds of time. It's like a hobby, you know.
yeah.
And also, it's I mean it goes with concrete stuff, you know, it goes with paver stuff, concrete stuff, epoxy stuff. So it helps me get my foot in the door that way too. Like it's a good talk piece.
What has been you think the biggest
Camera.
difference maker in your business? Either it was a mindset thing or it was just grinding. Like what little tidbit thing do you feel like you've done to really just kind of set the bar where you want to be? Because I mean, I'm sure maybe before you were pulling some of these numbers, like maybe it was like motivation thing. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I think the best decision I ever made was I didn't just jump in like both foot, both feet. Like I went real slow. I worked on the weekend and on nights and built it up slow because I don't know if I would have. I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. Went with Angie's List. I made some mistakes and it cost me a lot of money. And if I didn't have a job to help me when I was first getting into it, I don't know if I would have because I really didn't have a lot of people to talk to. And back then there wasn't so many groups like there is
Yeah.
now. There was like two groups. Uh, yeah, there was not as many people to learn from. And I don't think I'd have made it if I didn't go slow into it and build up a customer base, build up because like now, I mean, if after a few years, you got so many repeats coming in, and then the referrals, and then a good referral program is so important. Like if any of our customers send us a referral, we always send them out like a gift card for Starbucks or something,
Mhm.
or Sheets gas card, or and that way it makes them motivated to keep throwing their name out there, you know. And then you learn little tricks, like I said, like with how to make multiple next like next door didn't exist whenever I first started, and learning how to do different tricks and stuff like that to get multiple pages and just more visibility. So I'd have to say the thing that helped me the most was going slow at first and learning how to do a lot of stuff myself while I had more time than money.
Mm, that's a good one. And yeah, I think yeah, see, I kind of just jumped right in and I totally understand. I mean, like I had money already saved, things like that to buy equipment, things like that. But yeah, I do think that's really good advice. I think so many guys just feel like they gotta go full all in, but as we know, things take time. Like it doesn't you're not going to just be filling out your calendar, your first months, first year. It takes time. So I think having that extra income like you did, I mean, it's going to make things so much easier because then when you are slow, you're not worried like, oh man, how am I going to pay rent, how am I going to pay my mortgage?
I know that I think I was definitely scared when I finally took the jump, the leap. I was like, oh, and honestly, if I didn't have my wife's really helped me out a lot too. I gotta say, so if I didn't have her helping me keep up with paperwork and stuff,
Yeah.
whenever I was like whenever you're new, after a while you just become used to the BS of business, you know. Like, but when I was new, I was always like. so stressed out. Like you got to go home, you got to do invoices, you got to call customers, make sure everything's good for the next day. You got to fill up like everything was it just seemed like too much at the moment. But then you kind of just get used to all that too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. When was it that you're like, all right, because you working for the union, like what was it that you knew you could quit your job and you would be just fine? Like, was it like you were just making the same amount of money? You're like, all right, it's time to jump, or you're like, I'm sick of this job, or like what was it? Because I think most guys, they, a lot, and or the problem is they're doing pressure washing or whatever. It could be carpet cleaning, what window clean, and they're doing it for years, and they actually have a decent clientele base, but then they never jump ship. So it's like the opposite. Then they never scale because they're still stuck at their other business and they just never take the leap. So I think it is good to have that other job, but there does come a time it's like, man, if you don't take the
You're
leap of
losing money.
faith, yeah,
Because like I was making on the weekend more than I made a whole week working. So
yeah,
I'm like the thing that sucks is like, okay, winter comes. Well, worst case scenario, I get a job somewhere, you know what I mean? But I'm like, as long as I can at least work the weekend still, I'll make what I'm making at my job, you know? I'm like, and if I pack the schedule, then I'm gonna make, double what I'm making at my job. And I don't even have to work weekends no more because I was working every day. I still do work every day. It's just bad habit, I guess. But
yeah.
yeah,
You do
I
work probably one of the most out of everyone I know.
I but I my boss, he's like, yeah, if you quit and things don't work, you can always come back. And when he said
uh,
that, I was like, it made me feel like, okay, well, I got a safety net. But at the same time, you never know. They say that you never know if
True.
somebody, okay, this guy's doing better than Travis was. Travis jumped ship, forget about him. But I don't know. I felt kind of like I had a safety net there. So I was like, I got to at least give it a shot. I'm not getting any younger. But yeah, things have worked out great. I mean, and I'm hoping to, like, I got another truck. I'm hoping to put it on full time. Like we take it out every once in a while, but it's hiring's another issue.
That could be a whole nother video right there.
Yeah, it's hard finding people with licenses, people to show up, people to shut up and do the job, you know?
I know. What I mean, and I think too, the biggest thing is people don't talk about in any business. I mean, it doesn't just have to be like a home store. I'd say any business is mindset, and just because every day you gotta have to have this, like I like to say, this dog mentality, because you don't have another person saying, hey Travis, here's your paycheck at the end of the month, or it's up to you, it's up to me to go out and get the money. It's like, every day it is a grind, because it's like that day you stop grinding, that's the day all your competitors are moving up and you get behind. So at least for me, I know it's for you, it's like you feel like you always have to put the gas on, because if you feel like you're starting to break, that's when your business kind of takes a pause.
I always get anxiety about quoting lately for some reason. Like I just got an email I was looking at right as we got on here, and it's for like 80 like a HOA with 80 houses. And the last one I did, I lost. And I remember, I think it was like Marco Raimondo or somebody. He's like, I was watching a thing that he had, and he was like, yeah, nobody wants the cheap guy because they know he's going to suck. He's going to stink, you know. Nobody wants the real expensive guy because the middle guy's probably the best bet. He's going to be just as good. That's not the that's not what I've been experiencing. They always go for the cheap guy, and it doesn't matter if the cheap guy screws up everything. It doesn't matter if he never wants to do it again because he loses his butt because they have him coming back to fix all kinds of stuff. They just always, the headaches aside, the money's cheap, so they just seems like they always go with the cheap guy. I think we've talked about that before too. Like
Oh
what some
man,
of these guys teach is just not right. Like not in my market, anyways.
yeah. And for us, like that is the biggest rebuttal I get. Like if I don't get a job, it's always my price. Like literally, I just got a contact form for a window cleaning. They want interior exterior windows. It was 26 windows, and it was 45 minutes away. I gave them a great price. It was $15 a window, inside, outside, screens, I'll clean it for free. That's a great price. And they wanted it literally, what my quote was, they want it for half that price. And I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm cleaning the screens for free. That's usually I charge at minimum $2 to $3 a screen. I'm driving 45 minutes back, and they want it for literally just dirt cheap. It's like that is the hardest thing. And I know a lot of guys are like fight about this, is like the client, when you get these quotes, that's one thing to get a quote. But then when you do give the quote, and yeah, like, I'm trying to give them a deal, and then they want it for half the price, it's like, that's what I think psychologically is the hardest for most people, because it's like, man, we want money, we want to fill that calendar up, but do we want to work it for that low of a price?
I just lost a bunch. I was doing snow cones last year. This year, the lady said that somebody's doing all their locations. I think it's like, well, in this for this region or whatever, this district, uh, $300 a piece is what it came in at. $300 a piece for these snow, like, and I mean they're not huge, but I mean it just doesn't seem worth it at all. $300 a piece. Like, are
Yeah,
you kidding me?
I know. And
They're
that,
going for nothing, and I can't see this guy having hot water bidding it at $300 a piece. And like, and that's what makes me nervous. That's why I said I get anxiety about it. I don't want to do it for free. But at the same time, like, you kind of like, I feel like I'm looking like a jerk almost anymore. There's so many new companies that
yeah.
just want to make a buck, so they go out there. They don't even know how to bid yet. So I mean, they're used to working a wage, and they're treating their business. They're like an employee in their own business. They're charging, so they make an employee's wage basically.
Yeah, and in long term, that's not sustainable. As you know, I mean, maintenance, equipment, I mean, miles, like all that stuff adds up. And like, yeah, how, like, if I could all, if there are companies out there, I'm sure, same with you, they'll quote, and it'll literally be half of mine. And in my head, I'm like, how are these people making profit? Like, sure, you can make gross, but at the end of the day, all that matters is profit. That's the only number I care about. And it's like, man, if I hit these numbers that some of these people want, I'm going to make literally my profits nothing. It's
I
like I'm
know.
just working. Yeah, you're right. I'm working to make $15 an hour, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest issue I've been having lately. Is just, I remember whenever COVID happened, everybody's raise your price, and that was like the thing to do right then, because I mean everybody was realizing they needed to raise their price with inflation and everything. But then, because of I hate to be a jerk because I wish everybody did good and everything, but because of all these Facebook groups, there's just such a large amount of people that started businesses, and it's taken away from everybody's local market. It's driving ticket prices down. Just what it is. You got to roll with the punches and learn how to adapt, I guess. But that's why I think that everybody should learn how to like do more than just basic soft washing. Like, um, learn paver sealing, resanding and sealing, learn wood restoration. Get on the roof, learn roof cleaning and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And there's a lot of people, they won't do roof cleaning. They won't do like they put themselves in like a box, and then when they can't fill their schedule, they're like, why? Well, it's because you only do, A and B. But um
Restaurants don't ever want to pay nothing, but I think they're a great schedule filler just because in the morning you can go bust out, blow a restaurant's parking lot off or do windows before they
we're doing
open,
a
or
restaurant tomorrow. I mean, it's not power washing. We're actually doing McDonald's window clean.
windows.
Yeah, inside and out. But yeah, and yeah, I'll be honest, the pay isn't great, but it's something. And they're like, hey, if you do well, we have like 10 more properties. So it's like, it's just, I'm just doing it honestly to hopefully get a relationship with that manager, and hopefully she'll give us the rest. But I I do, and I know like a lot of people battle with commercial or residential, and I know you do a lot of commercial. Like, we honestly hardly ever do, which I should probably put more focus on. But um, yeah, commercial would definitely be a good way, especially when things are slow, to fill your calendar up, and especially like once winter comes, and if you
Yeah.
still do some commercial jobs just to keep busy. Unless unless you want to start do Christmas lights, that it seems like everybody's doing Christmas lights now. Unless or you just stick to gutter clay in the fall and just try to get as busy as possible in the fall with gutters.
I kind of I don't know. I want to build a construction company. Like I'm really hoping to like once this gets rolling, put somebody in a truck and then start something else and that way just like as a safety net. But yeah, this winter I obviously I do gutters too. I like to double down on gutters. It's just I like doing it more. But I hear Christmas lights are really profitable, but I'm gonna try to get a bunch of epoxy jobs lined up too this winter. That way can transition into that and between that junk removal and gutters, I think I ought to stay decently busy this winter because we make a decent bit of money, but it's like all in the summer and then nothing in the winter, like
Yeah,
chump change in the winter.
I know, because you guys are probably really slow. What, like mid
December,
December, January, February?
yeah, pretty much completely dead. It's crazy though because it's definitely getting warmer. Like it's warming up, like it's staying warmer longer, and the winters aren't as harsh. And like I
Yeah.
was thinking about getting into snow plowing, and there's plows on all these trucks that my neighbors bought and stuff, and they look brand new. Like don't barely snow anymore. They might take them out
Oh,
once. It's
yeah.
warming up.
Yeah, here in Charlotte, we don't have snow like that. It might have a little bit of ice, but nothing crazy. But yeah, there's this guy I actually, when I first got into the business, he had a power washing company, and he's out of Seattle, I believe, and now he has the epoxy company, and that's killing it. He's crushing it with epoxy because the thing, what I've realized is, like, yes, you can always do package deals and try to get these really higher ticket. Yeah, of course. If you, hey, we're gonna do your gutter cleaning, we're gonna do your windows, we're gonna do your driveway, house wash, roof. Okay. But for the majority of people who are in the exterior cleaning space, if you're just doing like one job, whether it be a gutter clean, a interior exterior window, maybe a house wash, your average ticket probably isn't going to be more than what, 600, $800. And if you're doing gutters, it's probably not, your average gutter job's probably 300, 350. Windows, if you're just doing exterior only, it's probably no more than $300. Maybe interior exterior 600, maybe 1,000 if you're doing a huge house. But the thing what I like, which I haven't done, but like with epoxy or like landscape lighting, is it's much bigger ticket. So you don't have to do as much volume. And I don't know like what the profit margins are for like epoxy, but I think having at least one service that is big ticket is the way to go, because I think too many guys just focus on like getting pushing volume, 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 and it's just so hard to be so sustainable. So I think if you do at least, mix in your volume with a couple bigger ticket out of one service, it's going to be a good blend to kind of just make sure you're getting the money that you want.
Yeah, I'm definitely raising my epoxy prices. I know that because while it's becoming more saturated too, it's just the product is so expensive and
Is it?
yeah, it's more labor intensive too. I usually don't use epoxy. I use like a rubberized product at first because it's just better. It lasts longer. It's the better product. So I want to be known as like the best installer. So we use a rubberized product and then we put the flakes down, then put the epoxy on. So it's even more expensive and the stuff don't last that long. Like once you crack the can, it has as soon as air gets to it, it's starting to go. So you have to kind of plan so that you have a few jobs set up so you don't get screwed and have a whole massive bunch of product left over. But I've been seeing some of these guys around here. They're doing some big, like fire departments, a lot of like nonprofit type of stuff where
Mhm.
they got tax dollars and grants and stuff. These people are doing huge projects for like fire departments around here, churches, stuff like that. and it's like I just can't believe it. Like I know what they're getting a square foot, and they have to be raking in the money with that epoxy.
Oh, I know. Do you I is that something that you want to do more focus on just in the winter because in the spring summer you're so busy with your power washing stuff?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I really want to get into doing more like contracting and stuff. I don't know if you ever you know who Davis is, Kyle Davis,
Kyle Davis.
did Davis and Shooter Tip.
Oh yeah, 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 okay.
He does pavers, and I mean, he has like now a wash crew, paver crew. I'd love to talk to that guy because I mean, I feel like installing pavers. Um, I just feel like there's so much money in it. And a lot of people kind of don't do it like they do it like an old school way. Like they always put down like the plastic
Yeah.
barriers and stuff, and that allows the pavers to move. Now people put down like edgecrete, where it's like a concrete that you put around the pavers, a little
Mhm.
like an inch down, and you put the topsoil to the top. That way it covers up the concrete and it holds it in tighter. You know what I mean? And you could even stake it if you wanted to, rebar it, whatever. And I don't know. I kind of like it. I like doing the paver stuff, putting the different designs in. I feel like it's more rewarding whenever you get to see something from scratch to finish, you know.
Oh yeah. I mean, pavers, that's something we definitely want to put more focus on. Like, have you noticed though, when you're quoting for like epoxy and stuff, because it is such bigger ticket, do you find your close rate much lower or the same?
Usually, since I don't really advertise too heavy for it, usually when somebody comes to me, it's like a referral and they're
Mm.
already got their minds made up of it. But I mean, every once in a while when I do advertise for it, the thing that sucks is since it's a higher ticket, they have like salespeople. A lot of these bigger companies have salespeople, and they are just such BSers. They'll go out there. I've been on so many jobs that are screwed up, and they're like, "Well, they said that they had a lifetime warranty, and now they're saying that corporate cut it down to 10 years." And like they'll just say whatever. And I'm like, every time they ask me, "Is there a warranty?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Well, this person says they have a warranty." I'm like, "They don't." Like, if you call them and you cannot prove that it's the epoxy that's screwed up, you're not they're not like I just don't like to lie to people. So I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, you have a warranty. And then when it comes time because it's chipping or flaking, oh well, that's because your tires. That's hot tire. Like that doesn't
It's
that's not the
it's the
epoxy.
same thing for gutter guards. That's why like I honestly don't believe in them.
I'm too honest. If I was
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, I'll give you a warranty, and then I can come up with some BS later. But
yeah, and
I just tell
and
them the
that's the
truth.
same thing like the gutter guards, man, is I've had clients where they had them and then they just completely like, as you know, gutter guards are trash. And
Yeah.
then they just break and then they call up the company and then they make up some excuse like, oh no, it was your gutter. I'm sorry, you gotta call whoever installed your gutter. It wasn't our guard. And they never get their money back.
Nah, warranties on some stuff is just the dumbest thing ever. But people buy into it. Like you almost have to if you really want to do big volume. You almost have to just play the game, but I just don't want to. I don't want to get a bad name. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was gonna ask kind of your last word, tips or tricks, like anything that you can give, maybe someone's new in the pressure washing game or they want to start a business, like any last words, any words of wisdom you can offer some guy or girl.
If I could go back and do it all again, being this far into it and not really being to where I really want to be, team building is like well, after marketing and finding leads and everything, team building. Like if you don't have a good team that you can step off and things can work just smoothly without you, then you're gonna be stuck on the truck forever. So I think if I could do it all again, I would make sure that like I knew I had somebody with me that was in it for at least a few years to the point where I could rely on them without me. Like I could just send them out, got a driver's license,
Yeah.
you can trust them to show up every day, do the job right. And yeah, I think that's probably the most important thing after leads is just being able to put faith in somebody.
And is that your goal, like soon to in a 1 or 2 years, whoever you're working with, them to run the show, and then you stay home and you work on whatever, like you were talking about construction or maybe building your epoxy business or just
I
doing
definitely
other
want to build.
ventures.
I want to keep building it up. I don't want to just have one crew and stuff. And like I hear some guys say that's dumb. That's like you can have the same profit margin with
Yeah.
lower overhead. But I don't know. It's just what I want to do. You know, like I want to do more and more and more and build it up. And I don't know. I feel like I would feel more comfortable with a team around me, and you know what I mean, and being able to do more stuff, and really, it, I see some of these guys, and I've worked for guys that have companies that are massively huge, and if they got hurt, company would run without them. If they want to take a trip to Florida, company runs without them. Like that's kind of where I'm hoping to be within at least the next 2 3 years.
Yeah,
No
so
matter how many businesses I put on, just runs without me.
oh yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, I mean, I think being able to have a business, I mean, and it's just like what you said, I think that's the goal for everyone. If you get sick or something happens to you, your business will continue to move forward. And it's not like, okay, well, I'm hurt or I'm sick, I can't make money. It's like, no, that then you're really kind of just an employee. Because, you know,
Yeah,
if you think about it, like if an employee can't work, whatever, they don't get paid, right? But if you're the owner and you have people delegating and everything like that, then you know you kind of could take this step back. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck is they're a owner and operator and they're an employee, and it's hard to bridge that gap and kind of take a step back because it is hard to find good talent and find guys or girls that have the same vision as you. They're going to work just as hard as you if you were there on the job site. And I think, yeah, team building, I agree.
I
Finding,
wasn't I wasn't wearing the proper PPE today, and whenever I actually had like just a drop of bleach get in my left eye, and it's like all crusty and I can't see. It would be so nice just to have somebody with a license. Like you know what it is. It's
oh,
so
yeah,
hard hiring right now.
oh, yeah, I
So
know.
I could sit in the passenger seat. I used to pack
Oh,
up my eye. Now I got a one eye at down 28. You know,
well, yeah, well, I always, gloves, hats,
respirator.
rest, all that stuff every time, you know. But no, I just want to say appreciate you getting on, and you know I'm gonna put your bio and stuff. So if anyone wants to reach out to you, I know Travis is a wealth of knowledge, and you know he definitely could help guys or girls launch a business. I mean, he's done it all from epoxy, concrete. I mean, pavers. I mean, he out of all the guys I talked to, he probably he's done the most and probably has one of the most kind of wealth of knowledge. So I appreciate you
Thank you.
coming on, man. And yeah, I keep pushing and thanks for all your feedback.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Have a good one.
See you, dude.